Most adults don't lose speed because they're weak. They lose speed because they forgot how to hit the ground. And if you miss this step, no amount of lifting is going to fix it.
Speed isn't effort, it's skill. And skill is trainable at any age.
Today, I am breaking down exactly how athletes after 30 rebuild their speed. And the first mistake almost everyone makes is in that first 5 minutes of training. Now, as we've discussed in other videos, everything starts with posture. So, I know this looks strong, but it absolutely kills speed. When your ribs flare and your pelvis dumps forward, your body can't absorb that force quickly into the ground, and that's where you lose the speed. Obviously, we want to see improvement there. Do it with me real quick. Take a nice exhale. Let those ribs drop. Let that pelvis get tucked underneath. We should feel tall, but not feel super rigid. Speed will always start when that body is stacked up. Some key points you're looking to feel here. You want to gently feel like your abs are engaged. You should gently feel yourself squeeze your glutes a little bit. You want to feel like your head is just floating above your torso, right? We're not reaching forward, we're not reaching back, we're not trying to extend anything, just a nice light head. And then one of the biggest ones is making sure we are relaxed through our shoulders. Obviously we want good posture, but relax those shoulders. We don't want to be all shrugged up, lots of neck tension. Great way to break this down is if you feel tight everywhere, you overdid it. You're squeezing too hard. We should feel like we're bracing, but we should still feel relaxation through our body. That's the key. All right, so now let's get into one of the best drills that we can use here to start working on that force production, that ground contact force that we're gonna get into our steps, right? Make sure that we're hitting the floor properly to make sure we're building that speed and starting to build that movement. So we're gonna start with an A skip. All my former athletes, we did this all the time. If you're a track star in the past or currently, you've been doing these before as well. I like starting hands on the hips. We're gonna get into that nice posture position, so gently brace the abs, gently squeeze the glutes, relax those shoulders. We're gonna drive the knee up. We wanna keep that heel generally under our butt, toe up to the ceiling. And the goal here is to step down and slightly back. And when I say back, I don't mean back here, but generally underneath that center of mass. That's where the speed comes from. We should feel ourselves strike with the ball of the foot, and by pushing down and back, that force comes back up and pushes us slightly forward, right? Up and forward, which is our propulsive force. So we get that knee drive, step down and back, and we'll slowly build into a march. Moving march. For now, if we start basic, we tuck that tailbone, squeeze those abs, and we slowly just start working on keeping our steps down and back, which seems easier than it sounds. A lot of you are gonna start doing this and you're gonna be way out front here because that feels normal, that feels natural, that keeps you in place. But we really need to focus on that step down and back, where you almost feel like you're gonna shoot yourself forward because of that motion. All right, so I know I was just mentioning our march, right? And obviously we're marching. I mentioned the ball of the toe. Again, a lot of you might get to that habit of getting forward, leaning forward even, so that we feel like we're pushing down and back because we're leaning, we're kind of cheating. We're getting that. But the big thing is, again, what is contacting the ground? Again, I mentioned it, but we want to be ball of the foot. We do not want to be stomping, heel striking. That's not going to create the force that we want to create. We don't run on our heels, right? We run on the ball of our foot. So we have to make sure that we're keeping it a little bit more quiet, getting that down and back, and make sure we're using those feet muscles as well as our calves, which are going to obviously be the big pieces to the puzzle there to create strength into the ground to propel us forward. Really easy cues there that you can think about is you want to attack the ground quickly. So you want to strike the ground, get off the ground. Ground is lava, right? But that force into the ground still needs to be maximal. So we're driving hard, getting off the ground quickly. And then just make sure that the sound is relatively quiet. Again, you can hear the difference between me stomping and then me on the balls of my feet. Very different sound, very different focus point of what we're trying to do there with that propulsive force. And then the last thing I'll mention is as you're doing your march, If your knees are bending a lot, you're absorbing the force too much. We want to be creating power. We want to be creating force into the ground and have that ground shoot that power back up into us. So we have to be a little more rigid. We want to make sure that leg stays a little bit more aggressive so that we get all that force back out and we get that speed through our running. Our A marches are great. And I know I've beat pogo jumps with a dead stick in this series, but we're gonna go into pogo jumps again here because they are so good for creating that timing and that reactive ability. So one more time, let's jump into those pogos. Goal here is to train timing and ankle stiffness, not height. Heels barely kiss, ankles do the work, and we remain nice and tall through our torso. Remember, this is about timing, not height. If you're going for height, you miss the whole point here. All right, let's skip and move on here. We're gonna do some directional jumps next. The main focus here is obviously multi-planar moves, being able to absorb it first, and then obviously we'll get reactive as we go. So if we just start on 2 feet, we just work on everything we were working on before. Soft landings, good posture, absorbing that force in all the different planes of motion that you can think of. So think if you were just working on a clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, you do any jumps, any direction. And then if you want to progress, obviously we can get into single leg, where we're doing a little bit more stability, having to get that balance, get those landings, being able to absorb on one leg without the knee collapsing, all good options. Now remember, control comes before speed. If you can't stick the landing properly, like you just saw, don't progress yourself into the rebounds quite yet. So think about it as a 3-way check mark there. You want to have balance, you want to feel your glutes loading, and you want to make sure there is no knee collapse. And then let's say you checked all those boxes, you got where you want to be. Again, now we're just talking about more reactive jumps, making sure we're light on those feet, work through that clock. If we're going single leg, you can get creative with these. Just staying light on those feet. Don't be afraid to kind of do some pogos in between. Challenge yourself to work all those different planes of motion. Lighter is better. Keep it small. Go for quickness. All right, so now let's work on that transfer to running. Back up on our feet. We're going to build from our marches to some skips to some accelerations. The big key here is, remember, speed is not forced. You want to be nice and relaxed. Work on your technique. Trust your technique, and that speed will slowly come as we build out those right mechanics. So obviously a lot of the same context that we talked about before, so I'm not going to beat all the cues, but we want to make sure we're getting our proper posture. We start with our marches, and as we get comfortable here, we would just pick up the speed a little bit. And now again, I'm going for quickness of my strike, but the harder I strike, the more you're going to see me start wanting to kind of pop up a little bit. That's a good sign. We can turn those stationary marches into that more dynamic march where we're walking forward. Then obviously we can get into our skips, which is a little bit more starting to drive through that a little bit more aggressively. And again, you can start more stationary first to make sure you get that before we start going more linear. But once we get to linear, making sure we're feeling ourselves moving forward effortlessly. Again, if we create that ability to push down and back, we're automatically going to feel ourselves wanting to kind of glide forward. That's a good sign. From there, we get into our accelerations. So if we're here in our accelerations, we're thinking about that launch point, right? Coming out at a 45-degree angle. This is going to be a whole nother video, but look at that launch point at about a 45-degree angle, down and back. Stomping that foot, very similar position there, where again, we're launching, push down and back to launch ourselves forward. So that's how we start building that speed. Go from our drills now into a little bit more of that running. Now, one of the more key parts here is everyone thinks about running fast, right? Every step you take is technically a landing, right? You're absorbing the force a little bit. You're trying to redistribute the force to the motion you're trying to commit to. So landings are vitally important. It's more the injury prevention side of things, but staying healthy, longevity, keeps us moving where we want to go. Bad landings are loud, stiff legs. We don't really get the hips back. We're not absorbing that force, all the tension through our joints. Again, over time, that just beats us up and causes those injuries. Good landings mimic what we're trying to do with our running, right? Get in that athletic position, glutes absorb that force, our knees are tracking properly. We're much more quiet with our landings, right? We're trying to kind of land on the ball of our foot as we get into a landing where I'm actually going to stick the landing. Obviously, I want to absorb my force, shoot my hips back, but we want to be nice and quiet there. Really teach that body to get in the right positions so we can redistribute that force like we mentioned. Okay, now for some of you here, you're locked in. Some of this stuff's going to be a little bit easy. For others, we haven't been doing power as long. We need to get back into what we used to do. With these landings, focus on earning the right to move forward, right? If you're going to do a snap down onto one leg, make sure, you even saw there, my hips kind of shot out. Make sure we are getting proper mechanics, proper balance. Make sure you're holding positions before you move on. If you wobble, you notice in a mirror that your hip pops out, focus on those little nuances. Again, longevity. We have time. We're not trying to hit goals next week. Get your body to absorb force the right way. You're going to be amazed that if you clock those amounts of reps, you're going to be able to do a lot of great things here in no time. And when you're ready to build from there, we can go into jumps. We can do our A marches. But basically think, if I jump, I land, I jump, I land. Now we're going slow, right? But we're starting to string things together. No one said you have to be here getting after it from day one, right? Get yourself up, absorb the landing, hold for a second. Get yourself up, absorb the landing. Start transitioning, start building those bridges into the more aggressive jumps. And again, in no time, you'll be where you want to be. Because when mechanics are right, speed feels easy. And now I just want to be really clear about how we're kind of dosing this, right? Speed training after 30 isn't about how much you're doing. It's about the quality that you're doing it. So making sure you're keeping your session short, efficient, and intense, and then move on. Give yourself a couple days of recovery before you think about jumping to that next session. We want to be fully recovered between reps. We want to be fully recovered between sessions to make sure that quality is there. If you're doing bad reps under fatigue, again, you're going to cause more injury, bad habits, and we're not going to hit the progress that we want to hit. All right, there you have the last couple episodes, right? Landings build control, our strength built our force, and our elasticity built our spring. Positive reminder, speed is not built for the young. It's built for those that earn it. Just because you're a little older, just because you're over 30, over 40, over 50, over 60, doesn't mean you can't earn it back. Just focus on the basics first. And that's it. Next episode, we stop isolating the pieces to the puzzle and we put that puzzle together. I look forward to seeing you there. Last episode coming of this power series. Never settle with yesterday. Take care.